Hey, Bobby here. Have you ever been talking to a girl and all of a sudden she stops texting you as much, or her texts just don't seem to have the same interest level as they used to? What does it mean and how should you handle it? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So if a woman stops sending as many texts, does it mean she's losing interest? The short answer is yes. But there might be more to it, as I'll explain. See, there's nothing worse than getting that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that something has changed in a relationship. Sometimes all it takes is for a girl to take 10 minutes longer than she normally does to respond, and you just know in your gut that something's changed, something's wrong. I can remember the exact moment I knew with this girl, Ann, that I had gone on a few dates with. She was really one of those prolific texters, right? She's always texted me tons of stuff. Her texts were usually paragraphs, which, by the way, I recommend you never send a woman a paragraph over text. But she would send me these, and it was, whatever. And she had been texting me a lot. I was getting texts often, but one random Tuesday, no text came in. And I tried to shrug it off, but something in my gut started ringing that alarm bell. Sure enough, later that day, she still hadn't sent her daily message. So I sent one to her, and after about 15 minutes, she replied, but there was something cold about her response. Well, on the surface, she was still being nice, right? There just wasn't that reciprocation to keep the conversation going that had always been there in the past. A couple weeks later, she disappeared. She was gone. So what the hell happened? There are a lot of ways to mess things up with a woman that men don't even realize. But most of the time, it comes down to one word: boredom. Women judge how much they like you by how much time she spends thinking about you when you're not around. If she sits there thinking about you all the time, she assumes it's because she really likes you. If a few days go by and she realizes she's barely thought of you, she assumes she must not like you that much. It makes sense, right? What's the first sign that we're in love with somebody? It's when we can't stop thinking about them. That's how you describe it. That's like, oh, I can't stop thinking. That's how you know. That has to be there for a relationship to move forward. If she's not thinking about you when you're not around, the relationship dies. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter how great of a connection that you had. It doesn't matter how much fun times you share together in person. It doesn't matter if she finds you attractive, funny, interesting, whatever. If she goes home and she doesn't feel a desire to talk about you to her friends, if she doesn't anticipate your text, if she's not sitting there waiting for you to call her, it's only a matter of time before she disappears. What most men don't understand is that's up to you to give her things to think about. Most men assume if a date goes well, that's good. That's good enough, right? The date went well? No, it's not. This is because, and this is why, this is because guys wind up in the friend zone because of this. They blow it with a girl that was initially into them because of this. If things are too good, too calm, and totally lack any drama, things become boring and uninteresting for her. You ever wonder why girls chase players or bad boys? It's because these guys give her plenty to think about. She sits around wondering, why didn't he call? She worries that he's attracted to her best friend. She's wondering if he's sleeping with one of her coworkers. When he canceled the last date, she thinks it's because he's losing interest. All that drama forces her to think about him. And the more she thinks about him, the more she becomes convinced that he's the one. That's the way our brains work. Think about the girls you become obsessed over. Chances are she messed with your head a little bit, right? That's every guy I talk to, she fucked with my head, right? So back to our original question. Does it mean she's losing interest if her texts slow down? At the very least, it means she's starting to get too comfortable with you and she doesn't feel that urgency to reach out to you, to make sure you're not, banging some other girl. So it means that it's time that you begin to mix things up. See, most guys, when a girl pulls back or, her interest level slows down, they completely mess this up by acting needy, clingy, or trying harder to make her like him. That is the opposite of what you should be doing. When a girl interest starts to dwindle, you have to plant some seeds of doubt about your interest towards her. You need to switch things around and get her thinking about you. How do you do it? Well, if you haven't watched my Scrambler video, there's a link to watch it below. But the key takeaway from this video is don't panic. Don't get needy if the texts slow down. Just realize it's time to turn the tables on her. For step-by-step instructions on how to do it, watch the Scrambler video in the description. Hey, it's Bobby. If you like this video, make sure you hit the big subscribe button below. Every Wednesday, I release a brand new video on creating attraction, avoiding the friend zone, looking less desperate and needy, and more confident, high value, and masculine around the women you're talking to. Every video will include specific techniques and tactics that you can use immediately. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe.